Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girivaradhari, Jai Girivaradhari, Yashoda. Jai Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Nana Brajajana Ranjana, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari, Jai Adama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna. Jai Radha Radha Nata Radha Radha Nata Radhe. Jai Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan, Jai Giri Govardhan. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivracharya Asutasara. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivracharya Asutasara. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai. Shri Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are reading from Srila Prabhupada lilamrta, because on Ekadasis we generally read from Prabhupada lilamrta. So I'm starting on page 38 and second paragraph. When George, John and Yoko dropped by after Srila Prabhupada's lunch, Shyamasundar invited them to come up and meet Prabhupada. George turned to John and asked, "Do you want to go up?" The bearded, bespectacled master of Tittenhurst, hair down to his shoulders, ascended. Yoko also was curious, so up they went to Srila Prabhupada's little room. Smiling graciously from behind his desk, Prabhupada asked his guests to enter and be seated. Here are two of the most famous people in England, and Krishna wanted him to speak to them. Prabhupada removed his garland and handed it to Shyamasundar, indicating that he should put it around George's neck. "Thank you," said George. "Hare Krishna." Prabhupada smiled. "This is Krishna's blessing." "Hare Krishna," George replied. "Yes," Prabhupada said, "there is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, yad yad acharati shrestas tad tad avatarojana. Sa yad pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate." The idea is that anything which is accepted by the leading person, ordinary persons follow them. Yad yad acharati shrestas. Shrestha means leading persons. Acharati means act. Whatever leading persons act, people in general follow them. If the leading person says it is nice, then it is all right. The others also accept it. So by the grace of God, Krishna, you are leaders. Thousands of young men follow you. They like you. So if you give them something actually nice, the face of the world will change. Although George and John were about the same age as most of Prabhupada's disciples, Prabhupada considered them Shresttas, respected leaders. You are also anxious to bring home some peace in the world, Prabhupada continued. I have read sometimes your statements. So we see here that George and John actually went to visit Prabhupada in his room where he was staying, and Prabhupada indicated to them that you are leaders. Yad yad acharati shrestas. Shrestas means that you're a leader. You're a leader, and everyone's going to follow you. So we see there are many leaders in today's world, and people don't like to follow these leaders because they basically are not good leaders, right? And they, do all types of nonsense activities, and thereby the people in general, they don't like to follow such leaders. So here Prabhupada is indicating that a leader should be of good quality, right? He should, like John and George, basically, they were, I won't say they were the best of leaders, but they were in the music industry, and thousands and thousands, millions of people heard their songs all around the world. And in this way, Prabhupada was indicating that because everybody is listening to you, then you should become devotees and everybody else will follow you. So we understand from history itself that yes, George Harrison did cut a record, and he sang the Mahamantra in it as well, My Sweet Lord, and different others. In this way, we see that many people got the benefit of hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So why is this so important to hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? We see that, in the scriptures it is being stated that this name of Krishna is so powerful that it can, the sound vibration of Krishna's name enters the ear holes, it penetrates the heart and it removes all the misgivings in the heart. So just by hearing the holy names of Krishna, one is actually becoming purified and the seed of bhakti is planted in his heart. Right? And from there it will sprout in time. He has more association with devotees. He hears the Hare Krishna mantra again, and in this way his bhakti lata bij will sprout. And in time, he will take up to Krishna consciousness. So this is why Prabhupada is stressing that you are leaders and you are, meant to actually, everyone's following you, and therefore you need to become spiritual leaders instead of material leaders. So we'll continue reading. You are also anxious. Everyone is. Every saintly person should be anxious to bring in peace in the world, but we must know the process. He explained that peace, the peace formula, according to the Bhagavad Gita, only those who recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the proprietor of everything, the object of all sacrifices, and the friend of everyone can find peace. So we see in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a famous verse, Bhaktaram Yagyatapasham, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, Yantva Manshantim Richati. That means that, all sacrifices are meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one who does this, knowing that Krishna is the proprietor of everything, then he alone attains peace because there is no envy. He is dedicating everything to Krishna because Krishna is a proprietor. And in that way, if someone else has something better than him, he does not mind it because, in today's world, we see there is so much of envy and jealousy because people have more amenities than us. This is the trend today. Oh, my neighbor has a new car. I must get one better than him. So in this way, this envious mentality is there in everyone's heart because originally we are originating from the spiritual world, and because we have become envious of Krishna, we have fallen into this material world. So everyone has this envy in his heart, and this is the process to get rid of this envy. If you understand that everything belongs to Krishna and nothing belongs to me, and we should actually offer everything to Krishna, then where's the there's no scope for envy in the heart, because you understand that if someone else has something better than you, then Krishna has actually awarded that person that facility, and in that way we can actually understand, yes, this is Krishna's mercy upon that person. So if it's Krishna's mercy upon that person, why should I be jealous of it? So this verse is very important, Bhaktaram Yagyati Tapasham. We should understand the substance of this verse, that everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be used in his service, and whatever facilities we have, whatever Krishna has allotted to us, we should use it in his service. So in this way, whatever talent, whatever, someone may be a great singer, someone may be a great cook, someone may be, different things, right? There's so many aspects in this, there's so many varieties in this material world, and also in the spiritual world there's so much of variegatedness, so that we can offer something special to Krishna. And Krishna is in want of that. He's in want of that, and he's waiting for us, because each one of us have something special to offer to Krishna that will actually make Krishna happy. In the spiritual world, there's so many millions and millions of gopis and millions of devotees who are actually want to satisfy the Lord, and Krishna is accepting each one of them. Whatever love they have, they actually offer it to Krishna. And we know in the spiritual world that one has to have this love for Krishna in order to get to the spiritual world, because without bhakti, without love and devotion to Krishna, then there's no, you cannot go back to the spiritual world. So therefore, each one of us have this special love that Krishna is waiting for us, that it's only we that can actually satisfy Krishna in a particular way. And Krishna is waiting for us patiently to get back to him so that we can offer this love to him, right? So let's continue reading. Where did I stop? Okay, Prabhupada then told the two Beatles even more directly that he had already hinted at what he had already hinted at. They should learn Krishna consciousness and help teach it to the world. I request you that at least understand this philosophy to the best of your knowledge, he said. If you think it is nice, pick it up. You're also willing to give something to the world. So try this. You have read our books, this Bhagavad Gita as it is, John. I've read bits of the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know which version it was. There are so many different translations. Srila Prabhupada. There are different translations. Therefore, I have given this edition, Bhagavad Gita, as it is. Prabhupada explained that the material world is a place of misery. Nature is cruel. In America, President Kennedy was thought to be the most fortunate, happy man, honored throughout the world, but within a second, Prabhupada loudly snapped his fingers. He was finished. Temporary. Now, what is his position? Where is he? If life is eternal, if the living entity is eternal, where he has gone? What he is doing? Is he happy or is he distressed? He is born in America or China, nobody can say. But it is a fact that a living entity, as a living entity, he is eternal, he is existing. Right, so here Prabhupada is talking about President Kennedy and how, within a moment I think he was assassinated. So in this way, where has his happiness gone now? Where has his position gone? So all of these things are temporary, because we are not this material body, we are spirit soul. And time and again, Prabhupada, talks about this in his purports, for us to understand and for us to get it. Hey, we are not this body. I'm something different from this body. I'm not this hand. I'm not this head. I'm not this, the limbs. So in this way, Prabhupada is telling us time and again until we get it and we realize that we are not this body. Otherwise, we'll be hovering on the mental plane, on the mental platform, right? Because we think that, we are this body and everything related to this body is mine. But actually, nothing in this material world belongs to us. Not even this body belongs to us, because this body has been given by Krishna, right? So you may say, well, this body, is given by my parents. Yeah, but, if you go all the way up, then Shishi Radha Radhanath ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, as I was saying, if you go all the way up, then you go to Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything, right? And even this material body. So we should use this material body in the service of Krishna. So let's continue reading. Try to understand, and if it is nice, take it up. You are after something very nice. Is my proposal reasonable? The two beetles glanced at one another and didn't answer. Srila Prabhupada gave a soft, amused laugh. You are intelligent boys. Try to understand it. Prabhupada spoke of the importance of music in the Vedas. The Sama Veda, he said, is full of music. Followers in the Sama Veda are always in music. Through musical vibrations, they are approaching the Supreme. He then sang slowly 3 verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Matir Krishna pratasvatava mitapibhate grihavratanam adhanta gobhir vishatam tamishram punapanas charvita charvamanam. Natu vidhi swartaghatim hi vishnam durasaya he bahir artamanahi andhayatadher upani upyamanas te pisha tantrayam urudhamni bhada neshamati tvad urukrama Nagrim Sparti Anartha Pagambamo Yadrita Mashamam Padoracha Bishakyam Niskinchanam Navrinayavat. Then Prabhupada asked his guests to what philosophy they were following. Prabhupada asked his guest what philosophy they were following. John asked, we don't follow anything. Yoko said, we are just living. We've done meditation, said John. Or in my meditation mantra, I do my mantra meditation. So we know that prior to this, that George Harrison had been to India, and he picked up some mantras and he was chanting those mantras, and he called it his mantra meditation. And they began to ask questions, and some questions Prabhupada had heard so many times before. After hearing Prabhupada's explanation of Brahman, the all-pervading spiritual energy, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yoko doubted whether Brahman could remain pure and not deteriorate in time. Prabhupada advised that she would have to become a serious student before she could actually understand spiritual philosophy. John and Yoko, being devoted eclectics, had differently accepted Prabhupada's concept of the Vedic authority. So when George Harrison went to India, he basically went to the Himalayas and, places where impersonalism was rampant, and in that way he picked up some impersonal philosophies and ideas, but he also got some mantras that he chanted. So there's a short note here, a side note. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew what is already being chewed. So this is the verse translations, right? Their inclination towards Krishna are never aroused either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. So that was the first verse that I read. The second verse, persons who are strongly trapped in consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home, back to Godhead, and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor. which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Unless they smear their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, completely freed from material contaminations, persons very much inclined towards materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, in this way one can be freed from material contamination. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:5-30 to 32. So we see in these verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's being so emphatically emphasized that materialistic persons who are too engrossed in material life cannot actually come to Krishna consciousness, because they are the first one Prabhupada says is they are chewing the chewed. What has already been chewed, they are chewing it again. Like when you're eating gum, right? You eat gum, the taste is gone, and then you continue eating that, chewing that. So it's something like that, chewing the chewed. We've been in this material world for so many lifetimes, and we've been there, done that, right? And yet again, when we take a body again, then we want to do the same things over and over again. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's the 4 activities of the conditioned soul. So we do this over and over again, sense gratification, like this. So this is what is being explained in the first verse. And in the second verse, Prabhupada says that a blind man, people are just following blind leaders. So if the blind leader falls into a ditch, then you go with him, right? So therefore we should actually, because the living entity has higher intelligence, then he should actually rise above that platform and inquire, who am I? What am I doing here? What is the purpose of my life? Like Sanatana Goswami, when he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Ke Ami, I'm performing these activities. I'm a big minister in the in the kingdom, but actually of the Nawab Hussain Shah, but I don't really know who I am. So who am I? So these intelligent questions are asked by person who are seeking spiritual knowledge. And I was listening to a class yesterday, and by my spiritual master, His Holiness Intradumna Swami, and he was saying that if you have this earnest appeal in your heart, I want to know more about who God is. What is my purpose in this world? Why am I suffering? I'm seeing everybody else suffering, and I'm also suffering. Why am I here? And then from within the heart, Krishna, he hears you, even if you do not ask it aloud. But Gurudev says that you should pray to Krishna in this way. Ask him, Krishna, or God, if you don't know even who God is and what's his name, ask, God, what am I doing here? Show me the path. And in this way, the Lord in the heart, the super soul, will guide you to the right path. Somehow or the other, you will come upon a devotee, you will accept a book, you may read it, you may become a devotee, or you may come to the temple, just by chance. It's a big festival, let me go see what's happening there. There's so much of activity going on, there's a huge marquee, there's beautiful decorations, let me go see what's happening. And in this way, when you come here, then you get so inspired. Yes, this place is beautiful, it's nice, and they're giving free food. Like, who doesn't want free food, right? So yes, so people are attracted by prasadam, they're attracted by the holy names, or just out of curiosity, people are attracted to Krishna consciousness. So in this way, the Lord within the heart will actually guide you to the right, to your right destination. So let's continue reading. Where was I? Prabhupada, all right, that's all right. If you believe Krishna is the Supreme Lord, if that is your version, then you have to see who is the most addicted to Krishna. These people are 24 hours chanting Krishna, and another person who has not a single word of Krishna, how can he become a devotee of Krishna? How can he, who does not utter even the name of Krishna, become a representative of Krishna? If Krishna is authority and that is accepted, therefore those who are directly addicted to Krishna, they are authorities. After more than an hour of conversation, Prabhupada distributed some prasadam to George Yoko, and a few disciples in his room. If these Shrestas were to take up Krishna consciousness, that would be very good for them, and many others also. He had done his duty and provided them the opportunity. It was Krishna's message, and to accept it or not was now up to them. John said he had something to do and excused himself. As everyone was leaving, Yoko, walking down the stairs, turned to John and said, "Look at how simply he's living. Could you live like that?" So, at least they appreciated Prabhupada's simplicity, right? Even just by appreciating the spiritual master or devotees, if one appreciates, then his agyata sukriti, he gets agyata sukriti. That means that he's unknowingly performing devotional service just by, appreciating a devotee. So it's called agyata sukriti, unknowingly performing devotional service. In the evening, Prabhupada sat with the three couples, Shyamasundar and Malati, Gurudas and Yamuna, and Mukunda and Janaki. After a year's separation, they were happily with Prabhupada, and he was happy to be with them. They loved the love they shared and the mutual satisfaction at being together was based on a unifying desire to establish Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement in this important city. Now that Prabhupada had come to London, work would not slacken, and it would increase under his expert guidance. Prabhupada could daily instruct the men on organizing more London preaching, and they could report to him as necessary. So here the Hare Krishna movement is basically kicking off in London, and we see that these three couples that Prabhupada just mentioned, it was mentioned in this book, they actually left America, went to London with no facility, right? No money. They just, as Prabhupada, went to the West with no money, no facility, sat under a tree and chanted Hare Krishna and attracted so many people. So similarly, these three couples went to England like that, and they were trying to establish something in England, right? In London. So the woman could also directly serve him, cleaning his quarters, washing and ironing his laundry, and cooking his meals. No one can afford a house like this in England anymore, Prabhupada said. England has gone down. Now these young boys own a place like this, and we are here. Prabhupada, Shyamasundar spoke up. Our record sold 50,000 copies yesterday. Oh, Prabhupada's eyes widened. Very big business. So we see that the Hare Krishna chant was actually recorded and, was sold, and 50,000 copies were sold. And here Prabhupada is like so excited because the Mahamantra would reach so many people, right? Prabhupada said that their money and energy should go towards opening the temple in the city. Now they were living comfortably on this aristocratic estate in the suburb, and certainly they should try to involve these important celebrities in Krishna consciousness as far as possible. But the main business should be to open a temple in the city. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had preferred to establish temples in the cities where the people were. Of course, if John could give this place to Krishna, and if the devotees could maintain cows and cultivate land as in New Vrindavan, then that would be a different matter. They would have to see what Krishna desired. So this is in Tittenhurst, where John Lennon lived, and so they were living there temporarily, just so that they could start a temple. And Prabhupada encouraged them to start a temple in the city where more people will have access to. Prabhupada was sorry that some of his disciples were obliged to work full-time renovating the estate in exchange for their stay. Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, he said, had the serious work of cultivating spiritual knowledge to teaching it to others, and they deserved the respect and support of the rest of the society. The engagement of Tittenhurst seemed more business than charity, but they should tolerate it as a temporary situation. Prabhupada talked to Shyamasundar, Mukunda and Gurudas about their struggle to get to housing permits and renovate the temple downtown. Shyamasundar had been right, Prabhupada said, to begin renovating the temple. Krishna would protect their investment. When Prabhupada learned they had secured a series of public lectures that would commit him to 3 months in London, he smiled. He would be glad to stay and preach in England, he said, for as long as it took to open the London Centre. So here we see these pioneers, they had arranged meetings for Prabhupada, to speak to different people and different guests like this, so that he could stay longer in London. And here Prabhupada was so pleased by this, and he said that he will stay as long as they renovated their old center. Right? So Prabhupada commended his 6 London pioneers on succeeding where his sannyasi godbrothers had failed. He told them that because they had chanted Hare Krishna with faith, they had succeeded. They were not great scholars or renunciates, yet they had faith in the holy names and the order of their spiritual master. Prabhupada said that he also was not a great scholar, but he had the staunch faith, the real requirement for spiritual success. So also I was reading yesterday that Prabhupada, he, was it in, no, I'm not sure where I read it, but Prabhupada, he was one of the disciples, Revati Nandan Prabhu. He said, Prabhupada, you are so, you're a Paramahamsa, and Prabhupada said, me? No, I'm actually very low. I'm actually lower than you. And he says, no, Prabhupada, you're so beautiful. You are definitely a Paramahamsa. And then Prabhupada said, no. The only thing that, I did was have faith in my spiritual master and have followed his instructions. And this is the results. that I'm getting, but actually I'm nothing. So we see that that was Prabhupada's humility, right? We know that Prabhupada was in the highest state of Krishna consciousness, coming down from the spiritual world and giving us what no other person has actually given, and no other person can actually do like this, because this was Krishna's special mercy upon Prabhupada and Prabhupada's faith in his guru to preach in the English language and give this knowledge to everyone. So in this way, Prabhupada's humility is like just on a different level. And also, actually, I'm preparing a class for presenting tomorrow, and there it talks about humility as well. Oh, actually, I presented it on Monday, an online class. It's on YouTube. So in this way, we're talking about humility and entering the Dham, and how we should actually possess all these good qualities, try to possess all these good qualities, because these good qualities are the ornaments of a devotee. And when we enter the Dham, we should actually enter the Dham with all humility, in that, Krishna, I know nothing. I'm coming from such a degraded background. Please help me. Please help me to actually progress in spiritual life. And if we enter the Dham in this mood, with humility, then in this way we can be saved, like the different devotees that I was speaking about. One is Prabodhananda Saraswati, and he was saying that if you don't have this humility, and if you think you are very high, you're a very high devotee, or you're very you know it all, you get people like this, and then Krishna can't help you, because if you think you know it all, then Krishna cannot help you, because you know it all, right? So you cannot surrender to Krishna, you cannot surrender to his devotees, because you know it all, right? So Krishna cannot help you. So in this way, different devotees were speaking about humility, and this is, it's one of the. I was explaining that it's one of the quality that is recommended to actually enter into the spiritual world: humility. Without humility, you cannot enter into the spiritual world. So one has to be humble, right? And also, we sang the song from by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gopinath, and it's such a beautiful song where, if you have some time, you can go look it up. The song on humility by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he says, "Oh Gopinath, I'm drowning in this whirlpool of material existence. Please save me, pick me up from this whirlpool and situate me on your lotus feet. Oh Gopinath, I have nothing, everything is yours, so I have nothing to offer you. What can I offer you? Everything is yours, So in this way, he's line by line, he's actually expressing his humility to the Lord Gopinath. Like that's the Krishna, the Lord of the Gopis. So I'm actually doing a series on Vrindavan Parikram, starting with Mayapur. And this is on every Mondays and Thursdays online, Westfall Namahata classes. So if anyone's interested, you can tune in at 7, like that. So, let's continue reading. Srila Prabhupada rose early, about 1 a.m., and began dictating his latest book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna begun in Los Angeles 8 months ago, was a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam's 10th canto. Starting in 1959, with the first canto, Prabhupada had been translating each successive verse, giving a Roman transliteration, the Sanskrit English synonyms and English translations, and then his commentary. Krishna, however, the book, right, Krishna, was all in English, with translations and commentaries blended together as transcendental stories. So we see that, this is one of the first books that Prabhupada translated, the 10th canto, basically, of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And although it is being described that we should not jump to the 10th canto immediately, but here we see that Prabhupada produced this book. Why? Because he wasn't sure, if he would live to actually complete the 10th canto, right? But we see that Prabhupada did some chapters in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam before he left. And he has, basically in one of his purports, I'd like to talk about this. And one of the purports in the 13th chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, the chapter is entitled the Brahma Vimohan Leela, and here where Brahma stole the calves and the cows from Krishna, right? So Prabhupada, in one of the purports, he talks about South Africa, because while he was, translating, then the news went to Prabhupada about the activities that were going on in South Africa. At that time, this temple wasn't here, but we had a farm in Caterage, and the devotees were very nicely, presenting Krishna consciousness, and they were enjoying and giving this to others as well. And the Post reported about the activities of the Krishna consciousness movement and how easy and sublime and how happy the devotees were. So if we have time, maybe we can read that chapter at least, and see this is one of the last chapters that Prabhupada actually translated, and he's giving glory to South Africa, right? And we can see how Krishna consciousness is flourishing in South Africa as well, right? With our beautiful festivals on the beachfront, Ratha Yatra, Janmashtami festival was a huge success like this. So let's continue reading. In this verse-by-verse translation of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada was still working on the 10th canto, so to reach the 10th canto could take many years, but he was uncertain how many years longer he would live, and the thought of passing away without giving the world an authorized, readable account of the 10th canto had been unbearable. Being the account of Lord Krishna's earthly pastimes, the 10th canto was the climax of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the richest nectar of transcendental literature. Now Srila Prabhupada had enough manuscripts, pages, to print a first volume complete with the many color illustrations he had commissioned his artist to paint. To print such a book would be expensive, and Prabhupada had no money, but he depended fully on Krishna and translated quickly in the quiet of the early morning. At 4:30, Prabhupada's secretary, Purushottam, entered, followed by Yamuna Dasi. Purushottam offered Arati to Prabhupada's small Radha Krishna deities, while Yamuna watched, eager to learn. Prabhupada sang praise, accompanied himself on the harmonium. During Prabhupada's Mangal Arati ceremony, the other devotees, also disciples, assembled for their own Mangal Arati at the temple. Hare Krishna, how much time do I have? 10 minutes. Huh? It's 8:30 now. Okay, I'll stop here. And if anyone would like to contribute, you're most welcome to contribute to today's class. And Prabhupada's lilamrta. Anything that struck you about Prabhupada, anything that... No? Okay. Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.